Wow, Ollama 0.1.22 just came out, hot on the heels of 0.1.21. Two releases in a week. Most of the new features were in the first one, but 22 cleans things up a bit. We'll take a look at all the new features, and I am especially excited about one of them that can make a big impact for all users. First, we see a bunch of new models: Quen, DuckDB, NoSQL, Stablecode, New Hermes 2, Mixtral, and Stable LM2. And then we got the announcement of the new official TypeScript and JavaScript library, as well as a new official Python library, making it even easier to build great apps with Ollama. Now, let's talk about CPU. From the beginning, Ollama required AVX instructions to be available on the CPU. AVX is all about that
wow!
whoa, double precision floating point arithmetic all the way. It's so beautiful. Oh, sorry. Memories of classic YouTube. It's for applications that do a lot of vector calculations, like, oh, I don't know.
Could it be
Ollama?
And it seemed like a no-brainer to include as a requirement because it's been on almost every CPU for over a decade. Well, it turns out that there are a lot of extra machines out there with 15-year-old CPUs, and their owners need them to still provide value, but Ollama would just crash on them. And there are some newer CPUs that support AVX2 that couldn't take advantage of the improvements. Well, now both situations are now supported. There were also occasions when the GPU wasn't recognized and Ollama would just crash. Well, now if not recognized, Ollama will fall back to using CPU only. I think one of the common reasons this happened was you had an ancient NVIDIA GPU that wasn't supported by CUDA. You can get some super cheap GPUs on eBay, but sometimes the promise is too good to be true. There's also better support for NVIDIA GPUs in WSL. Some people were seeing problems with Ollama where it would hang after 20 or so requests. I tried replicating this, going on for an hour and hundreds of requests, and had no issues, but one of the team members figured it out and got it resolved. There are a bunch of folks using Ollama in countries with, questionable access to the internet. Either it's slow, or connections drop, or lots of noise on the line. You know, places like the US. But also Eastern European countries, certain Central and South American countries, and, well, others all over the world. Well, if that connection dropped for whatever reason during a pull or a push, you'd get a cryptic error message. Those should be resolved. It can't fix your connection, but it can be a bit more resilient, and any error that happens should at least make sense. So all of those are huge fixes if you're affected by them, but I would imagine that 90% of users weren't touched by any of them. But man, those 10%, they're certainly vocal. Well, let's look at some settings that help everyone out. First is the messages directive in the model file. Recently, the chat endpoint was added to the API. This made it super easy to add a few-shot prompt to a model, which is great for providing examples of what you want. For instance, if you want to output JSON, it would help to provide the schema in the prompt, and then things got better if you could include some examples. Well, now you can provide those examples in the model file as well. You use message and then the role, which looks like it's limited to user and assistant, and then the question or answer. Pretty cool stuff. In the beginning, Ollama just let you configure all the settings for a model in the model file. Now, over time, more of that config also happened in the Ollama REPL with the /set commands. You can update the system prompt or template or any of the parameters there. But there wasn't an easy way to serialize your new creation. Well, now there is also a /save command that lets you save what you've done to a new model. And when you're done with a model, you can use /load and a model name, and you will get a new model loaded. So maybe you want to switch from Llama 2 to Mistral. That's easy to do. You can also use it as a way to clear the context. So if you're in Mistral, try /load Mistral, and it will forget the context from the previous conversation. This is a common request in the Discord. You know about Discord, right? discord.gg/Ollama. And when you go there, share your favorite Techno-Evangelist video to let everyone know that you are awesome. One more thing that I'm excited about is a /show parameter command. It will now output the correct setting. Often I would set temp to 0.9 or 1.2 and /show parameters would say that the temp was 1. Now it will output the correct values. And that's what's new in version 0.1.21 and 0.1.22 of Ollama. I think these have a lot for everyone and are going to be magic for a few. What do you think of the messages in the model file feature? Is there something else that resonates with you in this new version? If you find this useful, like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.